Hi, my name is Meg Montgomery. I've lived in Orange County, I've lived in New York City, and I currently live in Sullivan County, New York. We're facing a dilemma at this point in time that is of such great significance that I can't help involving myself in the fight to save fresh water and air in the Catskills. We have a deadline of November 30th right now for comments to the New York DEC regarding hydrofracking to extract gas from the Marcellus Shale formation, which runs through southern New York. They're planning on putting 10,000 or more gas wells in over the next 10 years to extract what has been called the largest natural gas reserve in the entire country, possibly enough to power our natural gas needs for 20 years. There was a hearing the other night, the first hearing, and it was a packed auditorium in Sullivan County, and there was about 70 people who expressed their opinions both for and against drilling to the DEC. I was really impressed by really diverse points that were made, the incredible amount of study and research that went into people's questions and concerns. I have absolutely no disdain or negativity for the people who are choosing to lease the land for drilling, because it's a very depressed area. In addition to the country being depressed, Sullivan County and the surrounding counties have been depressed for a very, very long time. And essentially, the gas companies are giving such a rosy story about how the drilling will progress that the people really want to believe those stories. Throughout the past 4 or 5 years, hydrofracking has been in operation in about 13 states throughout the country. The stories coming out of those states are horrific. Earthquakes, all kinds of horrible diseases, and spills that destroy entire ecosystems. The representatives of Chesapeake Energy love to tell us how safe drilling for gas is in New York State. Unfortunately, what they don't disclose is that there are different kinds of drilling, and hydrofracking is not something that's used in the rest of New York State. They have to use it here because they have to go down so far to get the gas. In Pennsylvania, they have been hydrofracking for 2 years in the Marcellus Shale. Some people have reverse engineered the toxic waste from those sites, and they've found benzene, cyanide, and 200 other incredibly toxic chemicals, including neurotoxins and something called a mutagen. In my estimation, these chemicals have no business being anywhere near our water supply whatsoever. So essentially, the problem that we're faced with right now is that in the draft supplemental published by the New York DEC on September 30th of this year, they fail to address what's called the cumulative impact of hydrofracking, and they've given us 60 days to express our comments concerning this 800-page document. Since we already know that mistakes do happen quite often with hydrofracking, we are taking such an incredible risk by allowing gas companies to come in here and start drilling. The safeguards that were put forth by the New York DEC are not strong enough to protect our water supply. If our water supply is contaminated, it could affect a very wide area. Just because Chesapeake Energy is not going to drill in the New York watershed does not mean that the New York watershed will not be contaminated. Well, this could be a very catastrophic experience for 18 million people and the entire ecosystem of the Marcellus Shale, New York, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio all together. Our immediate request to the DEC is this: extend the hearing period an extra 120 days to give all citizens of New York the opportunity to go through this very dense 800-page document and to come up with ideas and alternatives to present to keep the drilling out of New York. The second request is to ban hydrofracking in New York. The Chesapeake Energy Company wants to get in here and drill as soon as possible. They want to take advantage of the fact that New York's economy is so desperate right now that the governor sees dollar signs in his eyes. Unfortunately, there's no way the state's going to make money on this, because if we have to build a wastewater plant, or if we have to build a filtration plant for New York City's water supply, we'll be much further behind than we are right now. It's much better just to leave the water as it is and take no chances with it. A reality is this: if we wait to drill 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, there may be a new method of drilling for this gas that places absolutely no risk to the water supply. Since the gas has been there for so long already, we know it's not going anyplace, and we think that it's imperative look for another solution to getting the gas if the gas really has to be used. A better idea is this: put energy and resources into renewable energy. Sullivan County has one of the best wind corridors along the Delaware that could supply power to many people. Very recently in Orange County, they built a plant which literally converts New York City's garbage into New York City's energy. Basic energy conservation needs to be something that is talked about all the time. We do not need the gas. What we need is the water. We need the water now. We need the water in 20 years. We need the water in 1,000 years. If we go forward with this drilling right now, we will not have that water. To find out what people's comments were at the hearing the other night, you can visit my blog and read my own version of what happened that night, which is pretty specific to people's comments and really goes into detail about the lack of funding and the lack of oversight for our people, our infrastructure, and our ecosystem. It really seems that New York DEC is not taking care of business. They're not doing what they're paid to do, and that's really what came across at the hearing the other night. I am also going to post a form letter to the DEC, which you can download, sign, and send in by November 30th at the latest. We need as many people as possible to voice their opinion, and very specifically to ask for an extension of 120 days. If New York City needs a new water filtration plant, I can assure you they're not going to be paying for it. It's going to be us. So I urge all New Yorkers to get up and send a note into the DEC before November 30th and check back. I'm looking to make a lot more videos as more information becomes available, and I really hope that we can do whatever's needed to block hydrofracking and wait until there's a better method to extract the gas. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.